morning call, the official name. We'll be live in just a second, folks. Good morning, and good morning ahead of time to all of you. There we go. Let's redirect this baby. Let's post a link for you. Let's post a link for you. And we are now live. Just move this over here. Perfect. Perfect. Let me just now share my screen and we can begin. There we go. Well, there we are. Good morning, Brian, Cam, Dave, Carrie, Annette. Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is doing well today. All right. We'll be starting in just a minute. You guys know how we rock and roll around here. Just post a quick link for you. Good morning, Roddy. Moondog is in the house. Wow, we already have 75 people. We just started. Folks, I'm having an encore today. I'm going to show everybody how to track hedge fund buying. It's going to be good stuff. I'm going to be giving some new stocks out today. If you haven't had a chance to come in yesterday, please do. And I will also have my VIP room as usual at noon today. We don't want to miss out. Good morning, Rochelle. How are you? That's the link to the VIP room. Gaston, Susan, Doug, JB, Jody, Paro, Zoe. Good morning, everybody. Oh, wow. I was going to say we'll start when we have 100 people, and I just looked and we already have 100 people. I think it's time to begin. All right. It's going to be a very interesting day today because we don't have a lot of Fed data, but we do have a lot of earnings. And the big question today, the $1 trillion question, Patrick from Ireland. Can't wait to get your next update, Patrick, and how you've been doing. I know you send me those updates once in a while, so I'm looking forward to seeing that from you. And I know whenever you're ready. The big question today is going to be whether the Nasdaq and the Dow have enough power to continue moving higher or not. Why is it a big deal today? Because let me show you where we're at right now. We are literally. Let me not on the QQQ. We are literally sitting right above the 50-day moving average. And if you look at big stocks like Microsoft, for example, we're literally right at the 50-day moving average. So today's going to be a really big day to determine whether the market's going to go higher or start pulling back. And obviously, I'll get more into the analysis as we get deeper in. But want to kind of show you where everything is going, and then I'll give you the conclusionary statement. Program yesterday, you're making 24. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. And by the way, for anybody here who doesn't know, and I know most of you know, but we have a lot of new people in our ecosystem in the last couple of weeks. Cam White, he has a program called Customer Service Live, where he literally will look on your Zoom and show you and go through with you interactively and show you what's going on and help you set up the Pro Trader dashboard, Lance's programs. I don't know what they're called off the top, but he'll help you set it all up from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Customer Service Live. You log into your members portal. There's a big red button. You go in there, and from 10 a.m., he will help you out. So no excuse for not getting your help. All right, starting off, the Dow is a little weaker than I would like to see, and it looks like the Nasdaq is taking over. Typically, usually, not always, but whenever you see a divergence between the Dow and the Nasdaq, don't really look at the S&P because the S&P has both. But if you look at the Dow in the morning, first thing in the morning, and you see a divergence, you got to ask yourself, which one is going to take over? More often than not, what you will see throughout the day is you'll see a battle between, instead of bears and bulls, you'll see a battle between the blue chips and tech, and we'll see which ones. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, we had 1,500 people yesterday. It was insane. It was the biggest crowd we've had in 2024 for any of our programs. We were expecting 1,000. We got 1,500 yesterday. It was insane. It's like doing a concert, right? Anyway, it's like doing a rock concert. All right. So watch this carefully because what I think will happen is, as you could see here, the S&P 500 is just flat. I mean, it's down 0.50 and it's looking for directional bias. And you will see that the Nasdaq will either drop really hard, over 100 points, or the Dow will start rising and this will start going positive. But it doesn't happen often that you will have two continuously fighting with each other throughout the session. Usually by the end of the auction, by the end of the day, you will see by the end of the auction, by the end of the day, you will see a clear trend one way or the other. Good morning, Rick. How are you? A clear trend one way or the other. So we're going to watch this very carefully. And this is going to put us in a position of really, to be quite honest with you, to be really honest with you, I was expecting this yesterday. And what we saw yesterday, I was expecting today. I know, it sounds really weird. But yeah, that's right, Tony. It is, it is good to beat your expectations by 50%. But remember, we have earnings today. We have a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to talk about technicals and all this other stuff. So, and if you're new here, welcome, 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 welcome. Frank Sibalsi, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Rochelle, good morning. And by the way, if you guys watch it today, I'm going to have a whole bunch of picks today. I'm not going to give you the same. I'm going to do a replay today, live replay. And I'm not going to give you the same stocks as yesterday. I'm going to give you different stocks and maybe some shorts too. So there'll be some more stuff in there that was not there yesterday. So don't think it'll be the same class. It's not going to be the same class. And I hope to see you all there at 1 p.m. today. And again, here is the link. All right, let's move on. Okay, so please, please, please be very careful and be mindful of the fact that we have divergence. Another major downside of divergence is it causes the S&P to be kind of flat. Why? Well, think about it. Rhythmic. Remember, I talk about markets rhythm. What happens if you have half of the index, which is blue chips, up and half down? It's gonna nullify each other, right? So look at this, the S&P. That's one of the good things and one of the bad things about being an index. The index, you can have a lot of flow if everything is moving, but otherwise you're just going to be grounded because look, how much flight can this take off if half of it is moving down and the other half is moving up? Good morning, Robert. Welcome. So it's an issue. It's a major issue we need to deal with. So when I see markets like this, I'm a lot less likely to go in till I see which one wins over. Because usually, typically, once you have one leading, it continues that way throughout the session. Okay, but when you have divergence like this, how do you figure out what the S&P is doing? It's almost impossible because I mean, look, this is down 32, this is up 27. It's a perfect example. And look, you have this at 50, which is just flat. Good morning, Henry. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. Hope everybody's good, and I hope everybody's out of their hospitals today. No hospitals. Hospitals are bad. So once again, just want to bring this up, and I bring this up on the Telegram channel during the day a lot, but I want to talk about it here so you guys could actually see it for yourself. I'll talk about gold and then I'll talk about the broad market and volatility, and then I'll get into the nitty gritty. So yesterday we saw a mixed day in gold. I still like how this is rounding out. Um, and again, we're above all the major indices. I think gold is still going to try to round out here and move higher. And energy, again, I drew this line here because this is the center of balance right here. But as long as we stay above this level, we're going to be above value. And if you look at the US dollar today, which we're going to start looking at on every single day, financials, let me just get to the US dollar real quick here. Currencies. Where's my currencies? There we go. So the US dollar, yep, Gaston, it did. So as you could see here, the US dollar looks like it wants to start coming up here. If US dollar comes up, now, if it's going to stay below the 8-day EMA, I'm going to assume it's going to stay choppy. But if it starts going above the 8-day EMA, it's going to put some pressure on the gold market, and it's going to put some pressure on the on the energy complex. So keep your eye on the US dollar and whether it breaks this level right here, which is probably about the 105.5. If it breaks it on the futures, that's going to be a problem, and that's going to put pressure on gold. But so far, we're kind of just moving sideways. I think also energies are lower because there's peace talks in the Middle East, which are going to take the pressure off of them. Adam says, do you have time frame on a metal move in gold? I don't right now. I think we're going to consolidate. My key for gold right now, Adam, is I want to see it stay near the 8-day EMA, and I don't want to see the US dollar go towards the 8-day EMA. So I want to see gold continue creating a fat round bottom right here. I'd like to see a round bottom right here and continue going higher. And the more we stay above the 8-day EMA, the more confirmation I will get of that. But with the US dollar right here, it depends. See, if US dollar comes down right now, it's still below the 8-day EMA. If it just cools off and comes down, it'll give gold and silver and most commodities a little more of an upshot. But if the US dollar goes up, it's going to take a little firepower away from the commodities. So what I'm hoping to see is the US dollar cool off a little bit, and which will be good for the market, and gold and energy start coming back up. So dollar up, gold and energy under pressure. It depends on the US dollar. Keep an eye on the US dollar. Remember, there's an inverse correlation between it. So if this starts popping above the 8-day EMA, it'll put more pressure on gold. If gold starts coming up above the 8-day EMA, the odds are this will cool off. So I'm just kind of showing you both to show you that they have a very strong relationship. Good morning, Delaney. Good morning, Infinitely. Look at that. We got people coming in late. All right. So kind of wanted to show you where we are with metals right now. Also, wanted to show you the bond market. We haven't looked at the bond market in a while. So the bond market based out right here, and the bond market is actually, interestingly, following stocks right now, or stocks are actually following bonds. Notice consolidation, breakout higher. For a quick second, look at the S&P 500. Consolidation, break higher. It's hard to see with all these crappy lines, but you see what I'm talking about here? Consolidation, break higher. The bond market is starting to react. Listen to me very carefully. The bond market is starting to react like a deflationary market, because typically you will see a negative correlation between treasuries and the stock market. Right now, we're seeing a very similar correlation between the, not energies, excuse me, the bond market and the equity market, not energy. I misspoke. So, so right now, because again, we're starting, the Fed continues to tell us that interest rates are going to go lower this year. Matter of fact, the odds towards rates going down in July has increased from like 15 to 30%, which I think is insane. And the odds of June going down are, so now everybody's now looking at July. Now, folks, I think the odds of interest rates going down in July are about zero. But again, the bond, it's not what I think. It's the fact that we are now starting to enter. If the Fed keeps talking this way, we're entering a deflationary market. And if we enter a deflationary market, the bond market is going to start moving higher, not lower, because that's going to, because the bond market will know that no matter what happens, the kid's going to get that damn bike sooner than later, at least by the end of this year. If the Fed starts turning that off, which we won't have that for another month or so, it's going to give us a little free ride on the bond market. So right now, I think the bond market's going to continue moving higher till it hits this level, which is this is the TLT I'm talking about, which will move about the 92 level, which coincides with this level I drew here, which is right below this lows, and with the moving averages. So I think the next level of support for the bond market is going to be 92. And I think if the bond market comes up, it's going to offer some support for the stock market. So I think one of the reasons why I'm still bullish is because the bond market is heading higher, not lower, and that relieves pressure from the stock market. Also, it's not like the US dollar is going really up or really down. It's just kind of in a wait and see mode, which gives the stock market a way to move higher. And by the way, this is random, down 30 points, up 25. This is just I mean, this is about as equal as 1 point on the S&P. So we're right now looking for directional bias, and the market's deciding whether it wants to rally again or not. But the bond market is definitely favoring the stock market. And I like how this is breaking out. What I'm hoping for is it's not going to come down and sag and come back down, that this will come up to this 92 level. That's what the trajectory is telling me right now. Now, what does volatility have to say about all of this? Well, that's a very interesting point. Volatility is now coming back down. As you could see here, it's now coming back down. What happens when we enter a new level? Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Krish. No bike, Krish. No bike at all. He may have to put it together himself. He may have to make uh, wooden wheels. Remember wooden wheels back in the 1700? Anyway, the fact that we're coming down here is a great sign. I'm not really seeing any reason why we would stop here. And general rule of law is rule of law. Notice I'm using rules of law. Rules of the market is that when we traverse a certain area, we tend to move all the way till the end of that area. If that's the case, then theoretically volatility should come all the way down to this level, and I think it will, because it's been very comfortable at this level. So I think this will cool off. I think volatility will continue cooling off. I think the bond market may have a day or two of rest and then continue moving higher. It has a nice trajectory. And again, the Fed isn't speaking really later this week, and we kind of have already a trajectory. I mean, they're speaking, but I mean, the wind has been taken out of the Fed for this week. But as long as we're above the 8-day EMA here, I think we'll continue moving in that direction. And I think as long as volatility is below this level here, and it'll only take 2 days for the market to go down, for it to go back. But I think while it's in this level, it's going to try to test the lower range, which is near the $12 level. And I think that's going to help propel the market higher. So I'm still bullish on the overall market. Look at that. You see, every time I save it now, every time I save it, what happens? I'll bet you I won't save it one time next week, and it won't highlight it for me. Murphy's Law never fails. Amazing. This is the third time I highlight it and save it like Brian told me to do, and it's perfectly here. And by the way, folks, remember something. I'm going to go live today at 1 p.m. I'm going to be talking about some new trades. Here is the link in case you guys want to join me. Here's the link. It's happening right after VIP room. And here's the link for the VIP room. And boy, oh boy, we'll be talking about some fun stuff in the VIP room. Okay, so U.S. benchmark indices ended the regular session higher. The recent job report, remarks from the Fed, positive earnings on Apple, for example, gave the market a bullish bias while investors waited for further signals on interest rates from the Fed and a new batch of earnings. Well, we're going to get the new batch of earnings, although they're dying down, as you will see in a few minutes. I'll show you what's coming out today. We're not really having any major statements from the Fed, and that, I think, will propel the market to go higher. Yeah, I saved it all right, Kirk, and now the one I didn't save stays perfectly here. It's Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law never fails. So tech-heavy Nasdaq 100 made a 3-week high yesterday. Very, very nice. Blue chips made a 3.5-week high. I like the fact that the Nasdaq and the Dow are in concert, or at least were in concert yesterday. Micron, a stock that we actually have in one of our portfolios, was up yesterday, was the biggest gainer. SMH did really well yesterday too. That's the index that tracks semiconductors. That's my number one sector index for this year. It's still outperforming everything. So Micron did really, really well yesterday. On the bearish side, consumer staples, Tyson Foods, it's one of the stocks that I was looking at, plunged 5%. So it was really interesting. Tech got a little boost, a little tailwind, and consumer staples got wind in their face yesterday. Didn't do so well. Barkin expressed his anticipation on Monday that high interest rates would lead to further economic slowdown and bring inflation to the central bank's 2% target. I'm optimistic that today's restrictive levels of rates can take the edge off demand in order to bring inflation back to our target. Barkin said also New York Federal, Williams stated that interest rate cuts will eventually occur, but the timing of such decision will hinge on the totality of the data. hey, kid, we'll figure things out. We'll see the total surrounding circumstances, and we'll let you know in the next couple of months if you're getting that bike. What? What does that mean? But that's what it means. But here, 8% chance that they're going to lower rates in June, but a 29% chance that they're going to lower rates in July. So keep in mind, I'm a professional. I know a little bit more than the average person. But when the average person on Wall Street sees something like that, they get really hopeful. That's good for us. That's really good for us because it allows us to see the market from this perspective. What the market is now saying, hey, if there's a 29% chance that rates are going to go down in July, which I think is like zero, that means there's like a 40 or a 50% chance they're going to go down in September, which means there's like a 70% chance or an 80% chance they're going to go down before the end of the year. Now, I do believe they will go down before the end of the year. But remember, the market discounts everything that's known right now. And right now, the market's seeing that carrot going, you're going to get that bike. You're going to get that bike. The kid's not thinking tomorrow, next week, next month. He's thinking, I'm going to get that bike. I'm going to get that bike. And what is the Fed doing? They're egging him on. But that's good for the market. I don't think that's going to happen. And I think we're going to end up paying the price for it in the next couple of months. But right now, that's good for the market. I'll go with that. Well, let's just go with what they're saying. It's not bad for the market. Although I think it's silly and I think it's not going to happen. And I think we're going to end up seeing a downside, but why talk about it now? We don't need to think 3 steps ahead of the market. We need to think in line with the market. We need to think 3 steps ahead of most retail traders, but not ahead of the market. Earnings this week, we got Disney, we got ANET, we got Duke, we got Oxy, petroleum stocks, we got MCK, we got Electric Arts, Rivian, The Dog, Twilio. Not major stocks for the most part, not going to have as much of an impact on the market. Is that good or bad for us? It means we're not going to see that crazy 400-point intraday volatility that we saw last week, and we'll be able to have a better feel for the market. But again, when I see this, positive and negative, it makes me sit back and wait till I see a confirmation before I put on a day trade. Just giving you some feedback. Because we don't know who's going to lead and who's going to follow. Europe is up a lot, not a lot, 0.55, following U.S. upbeat corporate earnings, optimism about interest rate cuts from the Fed. Yeah, you keep saying that to yourself, kid. Financial services, retail stocks outperformed on Tuesday, something to be mindful of. I think financial stocks are still going to do pretty well here. Maybe, Rebecca. I would say more of a 15% chance, but Germany, factory orders did better than expected. Exports did better than expected. Imports did better than expected. All this is actually factory orders didn't, but exports and imports did. But this is pretty good for Germany. We want to see Germany rally. All right. China index closed slightly higher today as investors digested stronger tourism data from Labor holiday. That's really good. We need China to get it up. Government initiatives aimed at bolstering and aiming property market. So China's not really giving us any major drama. Oh, let's see if it updates it. See, it updated it. I'm telling you, Murphy's Law never fails. It will stop updating it as soon as I stop saving it. But this is good. We're not having any major global turmoil. And that's really, really good right now. Japan closed sharply higher today as trading resumed after a holiday. Sentiment boosted by strong domestic earnings. They're trying to bring their economy back and not rely on exports. And optimism surrounding a potential interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve. Brokerage and electronic stocks led grounds. And I'll talk about electronic brokerage stocks in a minute. As far as what we need to pay attention to today, we may get a little bit of softening in the software. Keep an eye on Microsoft. Palantir is a software company, and their software sales were down. Not good. Microchip, tech stock, down 4%. So we're already starting today with a little bit of a downside in tech, which could be the reason why the market's a little down. Target rose 1% in pre-market after Citi upgraded it to buy and gave it a 180 rating. I was close to shorting Target. It's still on my list, actually. So, all right. Now that we did that, let's talk a little bit about momentum. We now have 200. We now have 233 stocks making a breakout, which is significant, but not anything that we need to focus on. We need to focus on this once it gets above 400. And the 90-day low, it's at 28. We need to focus on this because the ratio is really low, but I'm still seeing plenty of short opportunities. Plenty of short opportunities. And again, I wouldn't look too much at this imbalance till this gets up to the 400. When this gets to the 400, that's it. We've had it. We're in a strong momentum. We're above the 50-day moving average. We're filling in the gap. There's some upside movement right now. So I'm going to stay long. Let's talk about our levels right now, right? Shall we? Let's talk about our levels. Okay. This is the daily chart. This is the 50-day moving average right here. This is the 200. This is the 100. This is the 50. We're clearly above the 50-day moving average, and we're already taking out the high of yesterday. That's a very, very powerful sign. That's a good sign. What I'd like to see is not take this out by a few inches and then come right back down. I'd like to see this continue moving up. What do we have to tell us if that's going to happen or not? We have this pesky line right here that we're passing. And we have this next line here, which we're passing right here, right there. Okay. All right. So you could see we passed the 515 level. The question is, are we going to pass the 518 level? Or are we going to go below the 518 and kiss 510 again? Those are the options on the menu today. This is actually a little bit, yeah, like 518 level. Remember, I'm not good at drawing these straight. So somewhere probably around 518, 518, 515, 510. So 518, 515, 510. Are we going to come up to this level and bounce off, or are we going to not even come up to that level and come back to the 515? Today's Tuesday. It should be a fairly firm day. Let's see if we can break the 518 level. Good morning, Kimberly. Welcome. Let's look at the QQQ, shall we? QQQ, this is what I wanted to show you today. Look how we're bouncing off of this level, not breaking through. And what happens when we can't break the next level up? We tend to go and test the next level down. Least resistance, all right? Least resistance. So the question is, are we going to break the 440 level, or are we going to start coming back down? If we start coming down, there's a really high chance we're going to go down to the 434. So today you want to keep your eye on the QQQ, the 440 and the 435 level, and you want to keep an eye on the SPY, and you want to keep an eye on the SPY at the 518, 515, 510 level. As far as the Dow Jones, is this helpful to you guys? These levels, are they helpful to you guys? As far as the SPY is concerned, let me just straighten this out here. There we go. As far as the Dow Jones is concerned, we're between the 39, we're between the 390 and between the 39,000 and the 38,600 level. Okay. Keep an eye on this level. I'd love to see us break above 39,000, but I think today we're going to be just kind of looking for directional bias because there's not much here. There's not much here. My big concern is that we don't start breaking towards below the 38,600 level. Okay. Good. And we just broke our record, 356 people in the room, and we haven't even gotten to our stocks yet. So what am I expecting today? I'm expecting price discovery. I think after today, we're going to have a much better idea. I think we'll have a much better idea if look how out of whack this is. I got to straighten out these lines here. Oh, my dogs are howling again. I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but it's awful. But anyway, you could see these levels around 518, around 513-ish. around 510. Those are the levels we want to keep an eye on. Okay. They're all right here for you guys. All right. We talked about volatility, and the biggest clue is going to be volatility, whether volatility starts breaking this low or not. And another big clue is going to be the bond market. And if the bond market rallies, continues to rallies or sell off. Also, don't pay too much attention to the first hour of the day. We're going to be doing a lot of rebalancing, and I think the market is going to find its directional bias. Yes, Tony, they do. Tony, where were you the last couple of weeks? That's what they've been doing. Well, you're not, I don't know if you're in the pit or not, but if you're in the pit, I always write there. It's hard for me to take a trade right now because we're diverging and I don't know which way we're going to go. So I usually just stay back till I have a better understanding. All right. So just FYI, just FYI. Let me just copy this here real quick. Beautiful. Look at that. 367 people in the room. Just broke our record. Love it. Love it. We got to get up to 400. Yeah, you guys don't hear my dogs. I hear them like there's no tomorrow. They're like, I mean, it's like I can't hear anything else except my dogs. But as long as you guys can't hear them, it's all good. Nice. Look at that. 1 second. Let me just move on to the next page and we will continue. All right. All right. Let's now do our levels. All good, Tony. All good. All right. Let's go do our levels. Let me change the template. Let's talk about the stocks that I'm looking at. Now, you may find that you may find that I'm picking similar stocks. If you see similar stocks, that means the stocks that we've been picking before are hitting because we're only picking the same stocks in the same direction. So every time you see a repeater, that means if you would have listened to me last time, you would have made money. You heard them a few times, Penny? Okay. All right. All right. Let's do the short side first. Starbucks. How many times have we talked about Starbucks? And what is Starbucks doing? Still going down. Not in a hurry to fill the gap, is it? FTNT. Ooh, what a nice break. I'll be looking at every one of these stocks this morning. Hey, the neighbors can't hear them. I have T1S. I have a 3/4 of an acre lot. It's a really big lot, so my neighbors can't hear anything. I've got one of the biggest lots in the subdivision. This is one of the oldest streets here, so we have big lots. Net right here. And then one of my sides is a golf course, so I'm on the 10th hole, so nobody can hear me at all. I can have a really big loud party here. So Cloudflare, Med. This is probably the 7th, 8th time I'm giving you this stock. And what has the stock been doing? Let's put it this way. If you went short and you threw a dartboard anytime here, you would have made money. Backs. Ugh, what a stinker. Must have talked about this stock several times. I talked about this stock yesterday. I almost took it yesterday. I don't know why I didn't. I should have taken it. DR. I was too focused on the longs yesterday. Another one. Now, folks, how many times have I spoke about each of these stocks before? 3, 4, 5? Oh, you can't hear them a little bit. Okay, okay. Another one, Sprout. Cardinal. Every one of these stocks have been on my short list over the last 2 weeks. Every one of them. Tell me it ain't so. Every one of them. If you don't believe me, I have a book and I keep records of every one of them here. Oh, you took backs. Angie, good morning to you. Good. How'd you do on it? Well, you couldn't have done bad. It's been going down every day. So PARR. That's a new one on my list. This is the only new one on my list right here. Par Pacific. That's a new one on my list. How many times have we talked about this one here? At least 20 times. I'm not joking. At least 20 times. Tell me I'm crazy. At least 20 times. And this one too. Talked about this one too. See, Tony's still in DRI. Good, 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 good. And I mean, look at this stock. Not a lot of volatility, but you would have, if you would have probably needed to stay in it for 2, 3 days because the moves are so small. But if you threw a dartboard and you went short this stock, you would have made money. And guess what? Nothing changed. How long have I been talking about this stock? For months now, almost every week. And I dare anybody who follows me to say it ain't so. All right, let's talk about, one more stock, and then we'll go to the short side. This is also a new one. Monroe Has anyone heard of this stock before? Yeah, right, Adam, right. I've never heard of this stock before. Monroe muffler brakes, but man, oh man. And look how it keyed off the 200-day moving average and just every time it gets to the 200, it just breaks down. Never heard of this stock before, adding it to my watch list. Okay, all right, let's do the long side now, okay? VST, I know it's a new stock you've never heard me talk about before, right? I literally talk about this stock every single day. How about GE? Wow, what a surprise. You don't need to find the hottest stock. You just need to find stocks that are moving. When is the party? Oh, you guys know the company. Okay, okay. We don't have them here in Florida, as far as I know. CCK, another stock that I like to the long side. This is a different one. This one I like because of the gap. I like how it's at the 200, but I'd like to see it above the 200 before striking in. But I like how it's moving right now. Yes, these are all longs. Carlos, we went to 370 today. I took a screenshot. We went to 370 today. Qualcomm, I'm going to be looking at this stock a lot this morning because I like chips right now. I think chips are still on the up and up. I think it has more upside potential, possibly. If not, it's been outperforming every other chip stocks. Oh, Zoe, they're in Illinois. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Garmin, don't say I didn't tell you about this stock. I've been talking about this stock. Nice breakout here. Still like Interactive Broker. I still like financials. Semiconductors and financials are big on my list right now. Thank you, Carlos. This is a beauty right here. And don't say I haven't told you about it earlier. I did. I did. Blair, good morning. Good morning. Um, Dove. And Carlos, I responded to you yesterday when you sent me that email. I hope you got it. I like Dover right now. I like how it's consolidating and moving higher near the highs. I like volume. There's nothing not to like here. AEHC. Beautiful. What a beauty. Look at that. EHC. What a beauty. SkyWest. I might have mentioned the stock as early as yesterday, as late as yesterday. I still love it. Love it, love it, love it. Perfect top alpha stock. Perfect top alpha stock. Now, let's take care of some business here. If you missed us yesterday, we had a gangbuster session, record room attendance. Literally, it was a record room attendance for my Big Picture 2024 event. And I can't wait to do it again today at 1 p.m. I just posted the link. I'll show everyone my top predictions for the rest of the year, how to trade incoming election volatility. We're going to cover interest rates, oil, gold, crypto. I'm going to give you guys a spread and some shorts today, which I did not do yesterday. I'm also going to show you how I track institutional buying and selling in my program called The Trading Pit, which actually most of you guys are in. Does anyone, dare anyone to tell me that there is value in the room? Oh, thank you very much. So I just posted the link. I'm going to post the link again. It's happening at 1 p.m. right after my VIP room. Folks, please, please, please don't be ridiculous. Join my VIP room so you can have all the fun. VIP room link I already posted above. That's happening at noon today. Do not miss out. I'll repost the link one more time. Here we go. That's the VIP room link. I'm looking forward to spending the rest of the day with you. And I'm going to tell you something else. We got 370 people in the room. 370 people in the room. I'm very excited. My goal is 400 people by the end of this month. Look at that. 370 people in the room. You guys have a fantastic day today. Please, please, please watch the indexes. We need to see which one starts controlling. Believe it or not, I believe the Dow will, because the stocks that came out with shitty news on the Nasdaq are not the largest ones, and I still think there's some firepower left. But we will know. Keep your eye on the Telegram channel, and I'll update you every step of the way. And don't forget to visit Customer Service Live. Have a fantastic day. Yes, if you're new, welcome to the room. Adam, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Tony. Bye, Rebecca. Bye, Carlos. Bye, Jim. Bye, Infinitely. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Thank you for being here. I'm on the way to the office so we can make some trades. You too. Have a wonderful day, Jill. Thank you very much. Penny, you too.